Guys, welcome back YouTube. Here's another episode, and on this one we're going to be going over what is required and it takes to take care of all these big river monsters I have back here. So yes, I have 5 aquariums, which I'll show you guys in a minute, and I'm going to show you what it takes for maintenance and how to keep up with these big monsters to make sure that they're big and healthy. Alright, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright guys, so here we're in the garage, and you can see we have 4 tanks that I have set up. And I'm going to show you now one by one what tank is what size and what I have in each tank. On the first tank that we have here, this is a 55 glass aquarium freshwater. All the tanks that I have are freshwater, guys, by the way. And here I have a divider that splits off a flower horn. I have a dwarf flower horn, and I have a pink belly side neck turtle. You can tell that around the border of the shell and his mouth, bottom of his mouth and the bottom of the shell are pink. It's like a light pink. But when they get older, as they mature, that pink actually goes away. So it's only when they're babies and they're small that they have that pink marking on them. But it is very beautiful. And the reason why they call them side neck turtle is because they don't actually bring their head entirely into their body. Their neck, they turn it sideways, as he's doing right now. So that's why they call them pink belly side neck turtles. They grow up to 10 inches. And right now he's about, I'd say maybe like 3 to 4. So he's grown some since I've got him. I got him when he was about 2. But yeah, he's one of my favorites here. This is the 55 gallon. It is sand substrate. It has some live plants in the bottom. As you guys can tell, because of the lamp that I have for him, it does create a lot of algae, a brown and green algae on the glass. Go ahead and clean out the glass. Wipe everything down, gravel back the sand here to get any poop or anything that's down there, and be changing out the floss, the filter floss in the sump. This is a 75 glass aquarium. I have 4 fish in here. Actually 5, excuse me. I have 5 fish in here. I have a spotted gar, which is out in the back. I have a red-tailed catfish, a smaller red-tailed catfish in here. He's about, I'd say like 6 to 7 inches. And then I have an albino iridescent shark and a common iridescent shark, which they're both about 8 inches as well. So that's all I have in there. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be changing out the water, cleaning out the glass, changing out the filter floss to the sump, and then gravel vacuuming all the substrate. Our second favorite, aside from the one in the living room, the reason for that is because there's such an assortment of different types of fish in here, which makes it pretty cool that, you know, I can have all these different types of fish and they all get along. So, as you can tell, there's a variety. I can't tell you the exact number. I know there's quite a few, but there's a variety in here of South American, African, Brazilian, you name it. There's an assortment here. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll do a water change, gravel vac, changing out the filter floss, and then refilling it back up. The glass isn't too dirty because I do have 2 plecos in here that pretty much do that work for me and keep the glass nice and tidy. This is a 120 gallon aquarium, glass aquarium. So moving on to this one, this is the prettiest tank. This is the one that has the most color, and the one that people tend to always come to and kind of be like, wow, it looks really pretty. Yes, the reason for that is because these are South African cichlids. There's an assortment in there. There's the majority of them are African peacock cichlids. And as you can tell, I have some real stones in there, which these stones are actually from Tennessee, from the rivers up north, and I thought it would be a nice piece to add to the substrate here. So yeah, it's a 125 glass aquarium, running a lot of filtration. There's an assortment here. I can't tell you the exact number, but there is a lot of cichlids in here, and I'll be showing you as well water change, gravel. I have to level up the gravel, change out the filter floss, and take out the canister and clean out the media in there. Okay, so yeah, those are the tanks in the garage. I'm going to show you the details now of the 350 inside. So now moving into the main attraction. This is the star of the show. This is our favorite tank, obviously, because of the size and the monsters that I keep in it. And this is a 350 gallon glass aquarium that has monsters. By monsters, I mean these are freshwater fish that get really massive. Okay, so this isn't their final home. This is just temporary until I am able to get them into a pond or something a lot bigger so they can continue on and live a happy life. This is the red-tailed catfish, which he's pushing about, I'd say 19 inches now or more. I have a vulture catfish, I have a Mayan cichlid, I have a Bisher, a 19-inch Bisher out in the back there, as you can see. He's very calm, cool, and collective. And then here, I have a marble Akara catfish. Beautiful, beautiful catfish. I've had this catfish since he was about 3 inches, and now look at the monster he's become. I have a blood parrot cichlid. I have this massive largemouth that I caught, and he's in my fish tank. So that is awesome. He's my PB, so I kept him, and he's in here. I got a spotted gar, a very large spotted gar. I have 2 tiger Oscars. I have 1 peacock, 2 jaguar cichlids, and I have my beautiful, beautiful, which is one of my favorites, is this silver arowana. She's pushing about 22 inches, and we call her Wana, but she is beautiful. Look how she just glides through the top. She is a top dweller, so that's what she does. She pretty much stays at the top all the time, just swimming around. This is the big aquarium. Big aquarium means big filtration, okay? So down here, I'll be showing you guys all the components that I use to pretty much filter this many gallons of water. Down here, I have a canister filter, an FX6 canister filter, and then it is running on a 55-gallon sump. To begin it all, we need to start with water changes. So I'll be draining the water off of this tank, which I'm going to show you guys what I use and little tips that I might be able to help you guys at home. If you decide to get into the hobby, or if you're in the hobby already and might have not known, then I'll go ahead and show you guys some tips that I do to keep up with all these things. A quick tip, this is how I do my water changes. Because you're probably thinking, wow, how do you drain 350 gallons? Do you do it with a bucket or a cup? No, I would be here all week if I had to do that. So no, the trick is you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store and find yourself, or even order it on Amazon, and find yourself a submersible water pump. It doesn't matter how big, or obviously the bigger it is, the faster it drains water, but this is a small one that I got from Lowe's with 25 feet of rubber hose. This is how I do it. I go ahead and grab the pump, open the top lid, and I gently place it in here, and I bring it down to about, I'd say about here. Yeah, so to about here, because I like to do, since this tank is heavily stocked with big fish, they do create a lot of waste, so the nitrate levels do tend to be a little higher than they should. I do about 60, 65, 70% water changes just to lower and keep those nitrates low, okay? So I bring it about to here, and then I go ahead and run this hose over to the sink, and then I plug that into the outlet, and I let the pump do its job and drain out the tank. The pump is working, and it's pumping out water now. This is as fast as it pumps out. Like I said, the bigger the pump, the more water flow, the more you're able to drain quicker. But for me, what I use it for, it works perfect. And this is about the flow that it pushes out. I'm using the water of a fish tank that I'm changing the water of. And I use this water. The reason why I use this water is because if you wash your filter pads and your media, your biological media with tap water, the chlorine in that tap water is going to go ahead and destroy and kill all your beneficial bacteria. And that's something you never want to do. We're going to be going ahead and taking out Billy the bass. The water is drained to where I want it to. It is going to be a lot easier for me to catch him since the water level is so much lower. And I'm going to pull him out because initially when I put him in there, I never really technically measured him, nor did I ever weigh him. Even though I should have weighed him when I had caught him, because now he is a lot thinner than when I had caught him, since he's been giving me a hard time with the eating. But he is getting better. Yesterday he just started eating shiners, so I can fatten him up. But I just want to see where we're at, and I can keep track of his length and his weight for now. So let's grab him. Billy the bass. He is wild caught. I caught him about 3 weeks ago, and he was my PB. He is a lot thinner than when I had initially caught him. He has been kind of picky with eating, but he started eating yesterday. I got him some shiners, and he is beginning to eat, so I'll be fining him up. But Alright, so right now, he's about 4.5 pounds. So he's 21 inches. He's 21 1/4. This is Billy, guys. He's our pet bass, and he was my PB, and he's gonna live a happy life here until I get him in the pond. I would like to keep him since he was my first PB, so he means a lot to me. He's special. Alright, I'm gonna put him back in so I don't keep him out of water. For now, evening out the substrate, draining down the water. We're gonna go down here into the sump, and I'm gonna change out the polyester. So, guys, another tip for you guys that do have aquariums, or like I said, if you're looking into get it, you don't have to spend a ton of money on these fancy brand name filters that they sell for your filters or sumps. No, you can simply just go to your local Michaels or on Amazon and purchase these bags of 20 ounces or bigger for really cheap, for like 10 bucks or even cheaper. This is polyester, it's dye-free and scent-free, and it's literally just this, okay? And this you can use as filter floss. This it's really good at holding up all the debris or any detritus in the water, and it's cost efficient, so you won't be spending a ton of money, and this bag will last you, you know, a month or two depending on how much you use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the old one in here so you guys see how dirty it gets. Alright, that's it. So yeah, guys, once you change it out, it goes from being white to like this gray brownish color. Obviously it could have held up a little bit more, but I like to keep my water nice and clear. So you see it turns like that grayish brownish color. That's when I know I usually change it out, and it really keeps that water nice and clear the way it should be. Picks everything up because it's very fine. So I go ahead and grab the new one. Pretty much just grab a handful and I put it into the section here in my sump where the water runs through. Another tip, if you're using city water like I am, I like to run my water before putting it into the tank for about a minute, just so I get all that water that has been sitting in the hose, get it out of there, and I get the nice fresh water, and I get it at the temperature that I want it, because my water comes from 78 to 80 degrees usually straight from the faucet here. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling up the tank. Coming inside, we went ahead and ran the hose for a minute. The water's ready to go. Before we pour any water back into the tank, guys, you need to use a dechlorinator. And if you want a dechlorinator that works, and I've been using for years, it's going to be from Seachem, the Safe or Prime. I use Safe because I get more bang for my buck. We are officially done. We've done all the maintenance that we needed to do with the tanks. And yes, it's been a little bit of work, but that's because I was a little behind from a few weeks, but we've caught up. We did what we had to do, and my babies are happy. All right, so I'm a firm believer, if you take on the responsibility of taking care of animals, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta put in the work. It's not for the lazy, because our responsibility is to make sure those little guys are healthy and they're well taken care of. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about today's content, go ahead and comment below. And don't forget, guys, like, share, and comment, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.